You know, I made jambalaya earlier to take with me to the gas station all week. And my whole house still smells like jambalaya. I don't know why. It's all put away. Welcome to our special Al Adamson double feature. But first, we're going to talk about James Bond. I bought a bottle of Lillet Blanc, or as we say in Reno, Lillet. So I read this article about the James Bond drink, the Vesper, and I was intrigued. I thought, is it really unpalatable? So yeah, 3 parts gin, Tanqueray if you're me, 1 part vodka, and like half a part of Lillet Blanc. Well, it was a different Lillet back then. Somebody told me that there's a better approximation out there, but I don't care that much. I don't know if it was unpalatable, but Lillet is so subtle that you couldn't even taste it. So basically, I was just drinking gin that had the aftertaste of vodka. That, however, is much better. So I got on the liquor.com and I found a recipe for, I don't even remember what it was called, but they wanted me to put rose petals in the Lillet. And you know what? I don't have time for that shit. So 2 parts gin, 3/4 part Lillet, 1/4 part Benedictine, and some Angostura bitters. Much more palatable. Thanks, Ian Fleming. Now I got a whole bottle of Lillet Blanc to drink. I'll figure it out. Part 1 of our Al Adamson double feature. Actually, before I start, I talked a little bit last week about this documentary that I saw on Shudder. It's also on AMC Plus and a bunch of other places. It's called Blood and Flesh, the real, like a reel of film, real life and ghastly death of Al Adamson. This is a 2019 documentary, and I highly recommend it, especially if you don't know anything about Al Adamson. Watch this documentary on Shudder or whatever streaming service you have and learn about Al Adamson. And then you can start watching his movies, and you'll be in the know. Dracula vs. Frankenstein, Feature 1 in tonight's Al Adamson double feature. New, different, shocking. The kings of horror battle to the death. These posters. Together in one film, they meet in a fight of fright. All new, all color. We have J. Carroll Naish. Naish? I don't know. Lon Chaney Jr. in one of his last roles. Anthony Isley, Regina Carroll. That's Mrs. Al Adamson to you. Angelo Rosito. Russ Tamblyn of Twin Peaks fame. Actually, of biker picture fame. And then later on Twin Peaks. Remember with the 2 different colored glasses? And Jim Davis. I don't think this is Garfield Jim Davis. There's got to be a lot of guys out there named Jim Davis. And I think they forgot to mention the most important actor in this movie, Forrest J. Ackerman. How is that not on the poster? Oh, but introducing Zandor Vorkov as Count Dracula. Seriously, people. Forrest J. Ackerman's in your movie. Or Forry, as his friends called him. Dracula vs. Frankenstein is a 1971 independent international picture. Found out in the documentary that's Al's company. Nobody would release this stuff, so he released it himself. Directed by Al Adamson. And starring Forrest J. Ackerman. Okay, Judith is a Vegas lounge singer. Blonde, tan, and as stacked as any Russ Meyer vixen. That's Regina Carroll. I don't know if she and Al were married at the time. I think they were. She heads out to L.A. to find her lost sister. So after being told by the cops, LAPD, it's 1971. Maybe it's still Joe Friday. Ma'am, let us handle it. I'm not sitting up straight enough to be Joe Friday. Well, she walks into a bar to kind of drown her sorrows because the cops told her to lay off. And she starts asking too many questions. So, somebody slips her a goofball, and down she goes. Luckily for Judith, this turtleneck-wearing bohemian, beatnik, 70s, named Mike, takes her home. And no, not like that. Not like that. He takes her home. He rescues her, basically. Now, if I remember right, Mike not only had the turtleneck with, a necklace of, shark's teeth, or I don't know, fangs, bear claws, talons, and white jeans. I dropped 18 pounds. My clown suit was getting a little tight, but not only that, I want to be able to fit in my white jeans because every day is 1971 in my house. So Mike also agrees to help her find her sister. All the mysterious disappearances on the beach seem to center around an amusement park run by a Dr. Daria. I don't remember how it was pronounced, and on here I didn't know how it was spelled. Dr. Daria's Grizzly Emporium of Death. I mean, shit, I'd go to that. If I was at the beach on vacation, I don't know where, I would be first in line to go to that. Well, Lon Chaney secretly works for Daria, securing plenty of headless corpses for him to tinker with. Yeah, behind the Hall of Mirrors and all of that, there's a laboratory. And we got Lon Chaney Jr., old Lon Chaney Jr., with an axe running around the beach. That part's good. But wait! Dr. Dre is working for none other than Count Dracula. Complete with ahead of his time Kiss makeup. Now, I know some of you Kiss fans might correct me and say that Kiss was on stage wearing makeup in 1971, playing at some bar off Broadway. I don't know. Kiss for me started in 1973. I saw their first album. I have no idea when they really started. But he's got the fancy Kiss makeup and a special effects voice. I wish I had special effects. I'd do it for you. But it's like a cross of a electronic kind of loudspeaker voice and a guy talking into a tin bucket. Well, Dracula there, he has found the corpse of the Frankenstein monster. And what a Frankenstein monster. Together, they resurrect the monster and start their plans to perfect a serum to make Dracula invincible. Now, I thought vampires were already invincible, but apparently he needs like some dead monster juice in his body to be even more invincible. Maybe it'll allow him to go out in the sun. I didn't think of that. Well, Mike and Judith find her sister. But never mind that. They must stop Dracula from getting the serum. There's your showdown. Whoa, getting a little out of hand there. Okay. This is the perfect 70s drive-in movie. Brought to you by none other than Al Adamson. I may have mentioned that already. A low-budget schlock fest with all the bad acting, ridiculous dialogue, and situations. And don't forget blood this color. I said orange blood in here. It was red, but it wasn't blood red. You've seen these movies. Practically every movie in the 70s, unless you're Sam Peckinpah and you say, hey, we need to change the color of the blood on the wall because it's dried now and it should be more brown. Well, Al Adamson wasn't Sam Peckinpah. Okay. He's a genius in his own right. But he wasn't Sam Peckinpah. Why Dracula sounds like he's broadcasting on loudspeaker, I don't know what the deal with the voice is. It adds to the effect, I suppose. And he really had nice hair. I must say, I envy his hair. But it all comes together in a perfectly laughable ending. Very nice, I said. Very nice. I give this one 4. It's a 4-ring circus on the Late Night Picture Show. Feature 1 of our Al Adamson double feature. Now, go to the lobby. I don't suppose you have Lillet Blanc in your fridge. I mean, Lillet in your fridge. But make yourself something. I don't care if it's a frozen burrito. And be right back for part 2 of our Al Adamson double feature. which is Nurse Sherry, aka Black Voodoo. See you in a few minutes.